Brothers and sisters, today we will pray while listening to Psalm 37 verses 1 through 11, the Passion Translation.
Don't follow after the wicked ones, or be jealous of their wealth. Don't think for a moment they're better off than you. They and their short-lived success will soon shrivel up and quickly fade away. Like grass clippings in the hot sun, keep trusting in the Lord and do what is right in His eyes. Fix your heart on the promises of God, and you will be secure, feasting on His faithfulness. Make God the utmost delight and pleasure of your life, and He will provide for you in what you desire most. Give God the right to direct your life, and as you trust in Him along the way, you will find He pulled it off perfectly. He will appear as your righteousness. As sure as the dawning of a new day, He will manifest as your justice, as sure and strong as the noonday sun. Quiet your heart in His presence and pray. Keep hope alive as you long for God to come through for you. And don't think for a moment that the wicked in their prosperity are better off than you. Stay away from anger and revenge. Keep envy far from you, for it only leads to lies. For one day, the wicked will be destroyed. But those who trust in the Lord will live safe and sound, with blessings overflowing. Just a little while longer, and the ungodly will vanish. You will look for them in vain. But the humble of heart will inherit every promise and enjoy abundant peace. Let the wicked keep plotting against the godly with all their sneers and arrogant jeers. God doesn't lose any sleep over them, and He knows their day is coming.
The story of Zacchaeus was sometimes used as an illustration of the idea of restitution. Restorative justice requires that not only the wrongdoers receive their due punishment, but restitution be paid to victims. Now, restitutional justice is quite biblical. You see that in the Mosaic law, an eye for an eye, an oxen for an oxen. And it is perhaps fine to cite Zacchaeus as a New Testament case study for restitutional justice. But it should not be overlooked that Zacchaeus was the one who initiated it. Jesus didn't ask Zacchaeus to do it. And the point is exactly that. Jesus didn't make this restitution a compulsory condition for his repentance. So whether Zacchaeus did this to soothe his own conscience or to have the joy of charity, Jesus didn't force it on Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus did it out of his own volition. Today, we sometimes hear people suggest that social justice demands monetary restitution. For example, in recent times, people have suggested monetary restitution be paid to blacks, given how whites have historically exploited them. Others have suggested the same for Native Americans and other minority groups. This argument assumes that individual Americans of white origins have to be compelled to pay restitution for the collective sins of their European forefathers. I do not find this suggestion to be fair, and indeed, it creates a type of reverse discrimination. Even if we could argue that children were responsible to pay restitution on behalf of their forefathers, we have to understand many of the white Americans are only third or fourth generation immigrants from Europe. Their ancestors were not even on this continent when slavery took place. True social justice requires everyone, even those who are marginalized by the society, to be respected as persons made in the image of God. And that is what Jesus truly demonstrated by entering the home of Zacchaeus. Today, Zacchaeus can be anyone you despise. He might even be a billionaire who makes his fortune from exploiting cheap labor. But he is no less precious in God's sight.